Does anyone still use Slack, or is it just like Microsoft Teams hell in the corporate world? I wouldn't know. I'm unemployed. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to a rather special episode, I guess, on this channel. We are approaching the 3-year anniversary of me being on booktube. Hooray! I posted my very first reading vlog in June of 2023, but I had been filming it throughout the whole of May. So I guess technically I've been on booktube for 3 years by now. I guess it's a little bit of a milestone on this very small, very niche channel. And yeah, to anyone who has watched any of my videos from any time in the last 3 years, thank you for sticking around, I guess. Yeah, I haven't blown up yet, so there's still time to say that you liked me before I was cool. In fact, I don't know if I'll ever be cool, so yeah. I figured to celebrate, I would do a little kind of review, ranking, maybe, of all of my favorite books I've talked about on this channel over the last 3 years. So I've put together a list of all the books that I have mentioned in my like annual wrap up videos. And we're gonna rank them to see if I still feel the same way about them, I guess. This is an idea that I borrowed from Carrie Can Read, who did a similar thing for her, I think it was 3-year anniversary on booktube. I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be a nice way to celebrate the last 3 years of me yapping about books. Just to yap about them again. We do have a lot of books to get through. I've put together a bit of a tier list ranking, but we're going to go fairly rapid fire because there are 72 books. If you add together the 23 books I talked about in 2023, the 24 books from 2024, the 25 books from 2025, it's a lot of books. So yeah, I'm gonna try not to go on and on about them because I've done that already. So we're gonna, yeah, just put them into tiers, I guess. Oh, and the website reloaded, so all of my progress has vanished. Hooray. So on the top tier, once I put the list back together, the top tier will be called, what should I call it? I called it Bury Me With This Book. These are the books I want to take to the grave with me. You know how a coffin was unearthed in Egypt not too long ago, and the mummy, the mummified corpse, had literally inside it a copy of the catalogue of ships from the Iliad. Like, that is how I feel about these books. I want them buried with me to show how much I love them, how much I care about them. And also just like the fact that someone cares about the catalogue of ships that much to have that specific part of the Iliad, not any other part, the part about all of the ships and who was on them and where they came from. Like, to have that as your favorite part of the Iliad, that's I mean, it couldn't be me, but slay. The tier below that I'm calling Living in My Head Rent Free. That, I guess, it does what it says on the tin. These books are living in my head rent free. I think about them all the time. They are my Roman Empire. Tier 3 I've just called solid because they're still solid books. I may not think about them all the time. I may not consider them, one of my top favorite books of all time, but I would still absolutely recommend them. The penultimate tier I am calling Wait a minute. Who are you?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Because I low-key forgot that these books existed and that I put them on my list of favorite books. I nowadays feel kind of indifferent towards them, I guess, but I still love them when I read them. So maybe they could do another reread to refresh my enjoyment of them. And then the bottom tier is called It Was a Phase, because I have changed as a person since putting these books on my list of favorites. And if I were to reread them, they would probably drop a couple of stars, maybe. I don't think there are going to be that many books in that category because I'd say I'm fairly consistent with my opinions on things. Like if I really like something a couple of years ago, I would probably still really enjoy it or think about it fondly. But I don't know, I'm sure there are going to be a couple of books that find themselves on the bottom tier. So, yeah, without further ado, I'm going to get this tier list set back up. And then we can get started. I feel like this is probably going to take a couple of segments because I am already yapping for far too long and the storage in my phone is not massive. So, yeah, this might take a while, maybe.
2 hours later.
Okay, so we have all of our books here. It's a lot of great books there. Honestly, if someone were to just like ask me for recommendations, I might just show them this list because there are a lot of bangers. Okay, so they're kind of in a vague chronological order, I think. So we're going to be starting off with my favorite books from 2023 that I read in that year, in my first year of being on booktube. So we're going to start off with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, an absolute classic. I think I'm going to put this in solid because it is definitely a solid book. It's a great book. I don't think about it all the time, but like it's a good book. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Unfortunately, I am going to have to put this in. It was a phase. Really, I think I related hard to the fig tree analogy when I read it. Honestly, I still do. Um, I read that like 2 page spread and I was like, that's she's just like me for real. However, I do think the rest of the book is pretty overrated. And quite problematic, honestly. So yeah, I nowadays I probably wouldn't put it amidst my favorites. Girl Meets Boy by Ali Smith, I love. I'm gonna put this in living in my head rent free. If anyone ever asked me for like an underrated mythology retelling, I would definitely go for that one for sure. It's criminally underrated, honestly. And then we have another Ali Smith book. Let's just get all of the Ali Smith books out of the way. We have Winter. This was definitely my favorite book in the seasonal quartet. It was also the first book in the seasonal quartet that I read, which set me up a little bit for disappointment for the other books in the seasonal quartet, which were by far not as good as Winter. So I'm going to put this in solid, I think. All the Lonely People by Mike Gale, I remember loving when I read it. It's a little bit like A Man Called Uva if Uva were not Swedish and instead was a Windrush migrant living in London. But it's a similar sort of vibe, I guess. I don't really think about it a lot nowadays. Definitely not as much as I should. So I think I'm probably gonna put it in. Wait a minute, who are you? No, change my mind. Putting it in solid because it is a solid book. For the Winner by Emily Hauser is going into Living in My Head Rent Free, the best Atalanta retelling I've ever read. Probably also the best Argonautica retelling I've ever read. That might change potentially because Luna McMara is releasing a Sapphic Atalanta and Medea retelling this year, which I'm quite excited for. But this book is fantastic. It's also incredibly underrated. So yeah, would definitely recommend. Minor Detail by Adania Shibley, I'm also going to put in Living in My Head Rent Free. Because again, it's so well written, it's so poignant, and it's such an important book, especially for the current situation politically that is going on. All's Well by Mona Awad, I am going to put in solid. And I'm also going to put Yellowface in solid as well. Both pretty good books that I really enjoyed, but also like not the best books that the author has written. There are definitely books on this list by those authors that I'm gonna put further up for sure. Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi. I was literally just talking about um, when I was filming my Women's Prize vlog that hasn't come out yet. This was actually the first book that I ever reviewed on this channel, which is insane because it's such a banger. So we were off to a great start. Um, I love this book. I think it's a fantastic example of what you can do with a myth retelling. It's a retelling of Antigone, but it's set in the present day in the UK and in Pakistan with two families of British Pakistanis. And it's so far removed from like the context of the original, but like the story and the characters and the themes are all the same. So it really just kind of shows the timelessness of Greek mythology, basically. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm probably gonna put this in Wait a Minute, Who Are You? Because if I'm honest, I don't really think about this book that much. Um, Definitely not as much as Seven Husbands. As much as I love the universe and the tennis in particular, I'm big on tennis. Um, I don't know. It definitely does not live in my head rent free. Divine Might by Natalie Haynes is another entry for solid, I think. If on a Winter's Night, A Traveller by Italo Calvino. This, I think, is just gonna go to show how few classics I read nowadays. How many more classics I should be reading. Because here are two classics that made it onto my list for 2023, and there are like no more. I think the only classic I read last year, actually no, I read two classics last year. One of them was Dante's Inferno, and the other one was Frankenstein. Um, and neither of them actually made it onto my list of best books. Although I did enjoy both of them. But yeah, maybe I should be reading more classics. But anyway, I'm gonna put this one in. Wait a Minute, Who Are You? Because I don't think about it nowadays at all, really. So maybe I shouldn't actually be reading that many classics because clearly I don't nowadays think that much of the two that are on this list. No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. I'm going to put in Living in My Head Rent Free because it is always. It's so weird and such a unique kind of concept and narration style, but it's incredibly heartbreaking as well. I don't know actually how relevant the references in the book would be nowadays. Um, I think it's probably quite a time sensitive book, but I think maybe in a few years it might even become like a period piece um, because it is very kind of its time when it was published. All of like the memes and the pop culture references. But like when I read it, I think it found me at the perfect time, and I really, really enjoyed it. Then we have A Thousand Shits by Natalie Haynes. This is one of my favorite Trojan War retellings. I think I'm going to put it in Living My Head Rent Free. It's definitely like the first thing I recommend when someone asks for a good Trojan War retelling, but it's also not like a beginner friendly book. It definitely requires at least some knowledge of the canon myths, so that you kind of know a little bit of context. Then we have The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I love this trilogy so much. I think this one is also going to go in Living in My Head Rent Free. It is, yeah, it's so good. It's fully it put me onto historical fiction. Normally I'm kind of shy away a little bit from historical fiction, but that's the kind of historical fiction that I'm very, very interested in. Like feminist, talks about like unheard voices in history, um, especially like ancient history and Pompeii and stuff. Yeah, it's really good. And then we have Project Hail Mary. I think possibly the film made me remember how much I loved this book because I did really, really love it so much. Am I going to put this in the top tier though? I didn't rate it 5 stars when I read it, is the thing. Because I didn't love the ending. I found it a little bit cheesy, really. But the film is so good. Ryland Grace literally is me for real. And I love Rocky so much. You know what? Screw it. It's going to be my first entry into Bury Me with this book.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
It deserves it. It did alter my brain chemistry, I feel. Then we have The Hunger Games. Absolute classic. The original book is the best book in the series. And you can fight me on that. It's going in living in my head rent free because it is fully the blueprint for dystopian YA fiction. For real. And then Heartstopper, Volume 5 specifically, because that is my favourite volume so far. I'm going to put it in solid. I am very much looking forward to Volume 6 coming out in the next couple months, as well as the film. It's exciting. Babel by R.F. Kuang. I did say we're going to have some more R.F. Kuang content coming up. This one is going to be living in my head rent free. Yeah, I think this book was just perfect for me as someone who is fascinated by translation theory and linguistics and kind of its relationship with colonialism and stuff. And like the combination between like magical realism and historical fiction and the magic system kind of being treated as more of like a science, I think is just, yeah, the world building is insane. It's a book for nerds, and fortunately, I am a massive nerd, so I loved it. And then we have The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is still one of my favorite books in the world ever. Of course, I'm putting this book in Bury Me with this book. It's so good. It's so good. The whole series, the whole Wayfarer series is so incredibly good. There are definitely a couple more books, installments on this list for sure. And then we have This Is How You Lose the Time War. This, I think, is also going to go in Bury Me with this book. Yeah, it's another absolute banger. So good. I love it. And then finally, Bunny by Mona Awad. Again, it's another entry for Bury Me with this book. I think, honestly, if you held a gun to my head and told me to name my all-time favorite book, I would probably say Bunny. It's like that is a really difficult thing to ask of someone who reads as much as I do, but I think Bunny would have to be my answer. It is just so good. It's so weird. So incredibly weird. What I wouldn't give to like wipe my memory of that book and be able to read it again and not know what is coming, because you cannot guess. There is no way that you can guess what happens in the book if you haven't been spoiled. It's so good. It is getting quite dark and grey out there. It looks quite ominous. I hope it doesn't rain. So those are all of the books I've read in 2023. This is how the tier list ranking is looking so far. And yeah, let's move straight on to 2024. We're going to start with Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. I'm going to put this in solid. It's a pretty good book. I like how it discusses the issue of Western museums stealing from other countries. The Husbands by Holly Gramazio, I am going to put in It Was a Phase. I remember when I was putting together this list at the end of 2024, I was so torn between including The Husbands or including The Wedding People. And looking back, I think I made the wrong decision. I think about The Wedding People so much more than I think about The Husbands. But I think I chose The Husbands because it has such a great concept. Execution kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, maybe. But no, it's a fun book. It's still a good book. I just wouldn't necessarily include it in a list of favorites now. Glorious Exploits by Ferdy Lennon is going to go in Wait a Minute, Who Are You? It's a really good book. It's so well written, but I still, and I talk about this all the time when I'm talking about this book, I still don't get how so many people called it funny when it is not funny. It is just, it's so sad. It's like harrowing. It's not funny.
It's not funny, I've got school.
The Secret History by Donna Tartt is going to go in solid. I mean, it's a modern classic for a reason. Um, Controversially, it's not my favorite dark academia book that I've ever read, which is strange because I am a classicist, so theoretically I should love it. But yeah, there are definitely other books that I have enjoyed more, but it's still really good. Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I'm gonna put in. Wait a minute, who are you? Listen, I did like a whole deep dive video reading vlog on Sally Rooney in 2024, and I think I think she's a great writer, and I really really respect her for being so outspoken with her support for Palestine, despite what that potentially could do to her career. I have so much respect for her for that, but I don't know, none of her books have really kind of stuck with me. I didn't like Normal People. I liked Beautiful World, Where Are You, but I didn't love it. And Conversations with Friends, I did like it, particularly because I resonated with the protagonist quite a bit. But yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't really stuck with me. I do have Intermezzo on my list of 26 books to read in 2026, though, so at some point I will have read that one and I will have thoughts um, on that book as well. So I guess we'll see. Maybe that one might be the one for me that hits different. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang is going to go in solid. It's a great start to an incredible trilogy, honestly. It's so good. Several People Are Typing by Calvin Kassulk. This is going to go in Living in My Head Rent Free. It's a great book. It's again such a unique concept, but it's executed so well. I do think the same with No One Was Talking About This. I do think it might potentially be a little bit dated nowadays because it's a book told entirely through Slack messages, and I don't know if anyone still uses Slack. Does anyone still use Slack, or is it just like Microsoft Teams hell in the corporate world? I wouldn't know. I'm unemployed. But it is just, it's so funny and so weird and kind of eerie as well. Yeah, it's great. In Any Lifetime, I think I'm going to put this one in It Was a Phase because I did really, really like it. It very much reads like a blockbuster action film, but I think it also reads like a blockbuster action film in its representation of its female characters. It's very like you can tell it was written by a man because there is so much fridging going on. And yeah, that's something that has stuck with me whenever I think about that book. So Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. I'm gonna put you in solid. Yeah, I'll put you in solid. It's a great book. It's so good. I just definitely don't think about it half as much as I probably should, for sure. Oh, it has started raining out there. That is sad. Orbital by Samantha Harvey. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to put this in solid. Yeah, I'm going to put this in solid. Yeah, it's a great short book. I think I read this in like one sitting, maybe a couple days. But yeah, it's great, impactful. She's Always Hungry by Eliza Clark. I'm going to put in, wait a minute, who are you? There are definitely some great short stories in that collection, but definitely for sure some that I have completely forgotten about. They just didn't leave a particularly lasting impact on me, and I have definitely read other short story collections that, on the whole, have been a little bit more compelling, I think. Okay, The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ezeki. I'm putting in Living in My Head Rent Free. It's such a good book. It's so sad, but it's great. And it's got a fantastic, like, unique writing style as well, narration style. I'm looking forward to talking about that book in my Women's Prize reading vlog. Yeah, it's great. Hera by Jennifer Saint. It's such a great myth retelling. It's my favorite Jennifer Saint book I've read so far. I think I think I'm going to put it in solid. I don't find myself thinking about it that often nowadays, but I remember loving it when I read it. Okay, Happy Place by Emily Henry. I think, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put it in Bury Me with this book. I love this book. I think it's probably my favourite romance of all time, at least my favourite contemporary romance of all time. I cried first time round, and then when I reread it last year, I cried even more somehow. Um, yeah, it's so good. When the World Tips Over by Jandy Nelson. It pains me to say this, but I think I'm going to put it in Wait a Minute, Who Are You? I just feel like if I'm going to talk about or think about a Jandy Nelson book, it's going to be I'll Give You the Sun. Obviously, it is one of the books that kind of made my adolescence, my teenage years. And When the World Tips Over is a great book, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite I'll Give You the Sun. Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. This is another one of my favorite romance books. I think this is gonna go in Living in My Head rent free. It's so good. If We Were Villains by ML Rio is also going in Living in My Head rent free. I love it. It's it's so great. Again, it kind of embodies that dark academia aesthetic. But there's also Shakespeare, and there's a love triangle that I actually don't hate for some reason. And it's gay as well. Like it's such a win. It really is that girl. It's that book. The Temple of Fortuna by Elodie Harper. I think one of the best endings to a trilogy ever. I was a mess reading this book. I sobbed like crazy. I think I'm gonna let it keep the Wolf Den company. I'm gonna put it in Living in My Head rent free. A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. I think this is probably another entry for Living in My Head rent free. I feel like this category is going to be kind of packed out. Apparently, there are a lot of books that I just think about all the time. Um, yeah, I think objectively, A Closed and Common Orbit might be the best book in the Wayfarer series. But for me personally, completely subjectively, I do have a very soft spot for The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. So, yeah, but A Closed and Common Orbit is fantastic. The entire series is great. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke obviously is going to go in Living in My Head rent free. In fact, that was the reason why I gave it 5 stars. Originally, I rated it 4.75 stars because I just wasn't quite sure if I was getting that 5 star feeling. But I like in the couple of weeks that followed, I could not get the book out of my head. It's so unique and indescribable. Like it's insane. So yeah, I ended up just changing the rating to 5 stars because I couldn't stop thinking about it. It really was living in my head rent free. On the other hand, Evenings and Weekends by Asheen McKenna, I think is probably going to go in Wait a Minute, Who Are You? Because I don't think about it at all, really. I think I wanted to like it. I wanted to love it because everyone else seemed to be loving it. Everyone else was raving about it. It was like the book of the summer in 2024. And I think it is a fantastic book. It's very, very well written. I think it does some things really, really well. I don't know. I don't think about it at all. I don't know why. Rouge by Mona Awad. That is going to be living in my head rent free. I think, again, Rouge is objectively Mona Awad's best book. I think it takes all of the best parts of her previous books and puts them all together, and it is fantastic. Bunny, just sentimentally, is my favorite of hers, completely subjectively. But yeah, Rouge is fantastic. The Last Gifts of the Universe by Riley August. Oh, I love that book so much. Had me sobbing about long dead alien civilizations. So good. If you love Project Hail Mary, if you're a fan of Project Hail Mary, the book or the film, or both, Um, or even if you are a fan of Iron Lung, because I feel like the overlap between those two fandoms is quite large. If you enjoy either of those two things, let me put you onto The Last Gifts of the Universe because I think you would really, really enjoy it. Give it a read because it's so good. There's a cat called Pumpkin who has its own spacesuit. It's fantastic. And then finally, for 2024, we have The End Crown Zor by B. Fitzgerald. Love B. Fitzgerald so much. Obviously, this book is going to go in Bury Me with This Book. It is. Do I say it's my favorite myth retelling of all time? I don't know if I would go so far as to say it's my favorite myth retelling, but it's one of my favorite myth retellings. I think potentially it might be my favorite Trojan War retelling. It is. It's fantastic. It's so good. It's amazing. And those are all the books from my 2024 reading roundup video. So yeah, the tier list ranking is getting a lot busier. I've noticed. Um, but no, it's very cool. There's a lot of great books on this list. So, shall we move straight on to 2025? Okay, in 2025, we're going to be starting off with When the Museum is Closed by Emi Yagi. This is a solid book. It's like Night at the Museum, but if it was sapphic. That's it, really. Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams is going into Living in My Head Rent Free. This is one of my favorite nonfiction books that I have read. Yeah, it's great. And I got to see Sarah Wynne Williams in conversation with Cara Claire Burke, who wrote Yesteryear, the other day, which was such an interesting conversation. Two incredibly smart people just talking about like social media and trad wives and the writing process. It was a great conversation. Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. Where am I going to put you? I think it kind of pains me to say this, but I think you're going to have to go in. Wait a minute, who are you? Because again, I don't think about this book very often. I don't even think it's my favorite book by Olivia Blake that I've read. I think my favorite would probably have to be still Masters of Death, which was actually the first book by her that I read. It comes a close second, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely liked a lot about it, but I wouldn't kind of jump to recommend it. You know? Greedy Guts by Gina Tonic is gonna go solid, I think. It's another brilliant memoir about the fat experience, and I would recommend it to anyone, regardless of what size you are, for sure. Nesting by Rasheen O'Donnell, Living in My Head Rent Free. You know what is living in my head rent free about this book? The fact that it wasn't shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. It was longlisted. I think it was absolutely robbed of the shortlist. It's so good. It definitely, yeah, should have been shortlisted. I was mad at that when shortlist was announced last year. Mythica by Emily Hauser. I think I'm gonna put in solid again. A really, really good nonfiction book about ancient history from a more feminist lens. The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I'm gonna put in solid as well. Yeah, it's another great romance book, but I don't really think about it as much as some of the other books. Rejection by Tony Talitamote. I'm gonna put in solid as well. Yeah, I'm gonna put in solid. It is a solid collection of short stories for sure. Um, yeah, consistent as well. In terms of like quality, they're all very strong, and I like the fact they're all interconnected as well. Messed up in terms of subject matter. It does get weird and kind of dark, but no, It's a really good short story collection. The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. I think there was a time when I would have put this in living in my head rent free, but it feels like I've read this book such a long time ago. It was only last year. Granted, it was early on last year. It was January of last year, so it has been over a year, but I think I'm still going to put it in solid though, because I did really, really, really enjoy it. Bad Habit, I think, is also going to go in solid. Maybe? Yeah, let's put her in solid, because it is, again, really, really good. Boudica's Daughter by Elodie Harper, I think, is also going to go in solid. There are going to be so many books in this category. I probably should have split it up into 2 categories, but you know what? They're all solid books. It's probably my least favorite book by Elodie Harper that I have read. I mean, I've read all of them, so um but I think it's just because the pacing felt kind of all over the place. It's standalone, so like the plot line isn't drawn out over 3 books like the Wolfden trilogy. So yeah, the pacing was a bit weird, and it kind of took a while to really kind of get into it, but you know, it's still a fantastic book. I think Elodie Harper can do no wrong, truly. Voice Like a Hyacinth by Mallory Pearson. This is another great, criminally underrated dark academia book. And we're going to put it in solid again.
That's right. It goes in the square hole.
We Are Not Numbers. This is a collection of writings written by young people living in Gaza over the last like 10 or something years. And it's so powerful. It's like essential reading. It's such an important collection, especially considering like some of the writers are no longer with us. It's really important to kind of share those stories. So I'm going to put it in living in my head rent free because it has been since I read it. It's so powerful. The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. Where am I going to put this? Again, I feel like there probably was a time when I would have put it in living in my head rent free, but because it's been a while since I read it, it was another book that I read early on last year. I think it's going to go in solid. Maybe. Yeah, it's a fantastic book and I love it, but I don't really think about it that much. Okay, The Deep by River Solomon. I think I'm going to put in Wait a Minute, Who Are You? I think it could have been longer. I wanted it to be longer. I wanted there to be more of it. And I get that it's a novella that is inspired by a song. But yeah, I wanted more. I love the world building so much. I wanted more. A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum by Emma Southern. Is this top tier material? I think it might be. This, I think, is my favorite nonfiction book that I have ever read. It's so good. It's such a good balance of being scholarly and scrutinizing sources and evaluating them, but also at the same time, it's so engaging and funny and witty that like you don't even realize you're learning stuff, but you are. It's great. The Safekeep by Yael van der Wouden is gonna go in living in my head rent free, I think. It's a great book. Again, it's another one of those books I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did, especially because like it's historical fiction, it's 20th century historical fiction, and it's such a slow-paced book, but it's so well written with so much passion and this kind of sweltering heat. It is fantastic. Aphrodite by Phoenicia Rogerson is also going to go in living in my head rent free. Definitely another one of my favorite myth retellings. It's so funny. It's written in such a witty way with such a strong narrative voice. Series of narrative voices, really, because it's multiple POV. But at the same time, it's also like heartbreaking at times. Yeah, it's fantastic. The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang also is gonna go in living in my head rent free. Dare I say the best book in the trilogy? Maybe. Yeah, I dare say it is the best book in the trilogy. It's yeah, so good. Then we have Chain Gang All Stars, and where's this gonna go? I think I'm gonna put it in solid because I don't find myself thinking that much about it, not as much as I should, because it is such a solid dystopian kind of speculative book that is inspired by like real life legal situations and history. Like the world building is fantastic because it is just it's all rooted in reality, but it feels so unreal. So yeah, it's great. Then we have A Beautiful Evil by B. Fitzgerald. I'm gonna put this one in living in my head rent free. I think this might be my least favorite B. Fitzgerald myth retelling, but even saying that, like, the bar is so high. Like, I still rated this book 4.75 stars. It is that good. It's just, it's not quite up there with The End Crown Sword, but it's still fantastic. Little Rot by Akwaeke Emezi, I think it's also going to go in living in my head rent free. Yeah, it's so literary. It's fantastically written, and it's dark and thrilling and so engaging. It's yeah, it's a great book. I keep saying that about all these books. They are all great books. They're all fantastic. Okay, next up we have Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. This is gonna hurt, I think. It's gonna pain me to say this. However, I think I'm gonna have to put this one in Wait a Minute, Who Are You? Because despite the fact that I did rate this book 5 stars when I read it, I just never think about it at all. I think I don't know, I loved it at the time. I thought it was fantastic. Just the depiction of sisterhood and the complexity of familial relationships. But yeah, I don't know. I never think about it. I don't really know why. And then we have The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. Um I really love this book. But again, it's not quite up there with The Long Way to a Small Microplanet. Just for me sentimentally. So I think I'm gonna have it keep its friend, A Close Common Orbit company in Living in My Head Rent Free. And then finally, we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love this book so much. This was my favorite book I read last year. It is, I think, gonna be a forever favorite for me. The amount of tears I shed. Oh my god. So yeah, it's definitely gonna go in Bury Me with this book for sure. And those are all the books. That's all of them. Sorted. Hooray. The final tier list ranking looks something like this. It's a nice even spread, actually. Well, kind of even, I guess. It's kind of skewed more towards the positive, which I suspected because like these are all my favorite books from the last 3 years. So I'm gonna have positive opinions about both of them. I definitely sense a theme going on with the books in the top tier. There's a bit of space. There's a bit of mythology and ancient history. There's a bit of romance, especially sapphic romance. I know what I like. I know what my taste in books are. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Also, like, if you like any of these books that I have talked about in this video, please talk to me about them because I like talking about books. If you haven't already noticed, I like talking about books. You can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, Storygraph, Blue Sky. My username on all those platforms is @WithLivJones, which is the same as it is on here. Thanks so much again for watching, and here's to another 3 years on booktube, and hopefully more. I will see you in the next video. Bye!